So I want to go through each of you, and I want to know what is woke into you, being woke.
Sensitive. They need to be catered to their feelings and emotions.
Say something extreme because I'm sensitive on a certain subject.
I agree with your comment and your comment, but it's like you can't say anything nowadays. It's everything's offensive. Like
Pretty much defined woke, but
Yes.
the part or the view of a conservative right-winger. Go.
Where and why wasn't the woke definition ever explained properly?
It is explained.
Where?
I'm getting to that.
Okay, we're discussing it, me and you, but
Let's get deep here.
It's pretty deep.
So I've been, watching a lot of the political back and forth, the RNC, all these speeches. You see the two contrasts of the speeches, and there's always this. You don't really hear it at the conventions, but you hear a lot of it when it's the media, especially right-wing media. Word woke. You know what I'm talking about? Woke. So I want to go through each of you, and I want to know what is woke into you, being woke. Who wants to go first?
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, go first. Woke.
They are sensitive. They need to be catered to their feelings and emotions. And if we don't include those feelings, they are
Then you're wrong.
insulted, and they most of the time, that's fine, and you can do that, but it doesn't mean that I have to necessarily always agree with you.
Right.
But that's a feeling, my feelings, but also woke. I think what woke.
I agree with Steve. I'm going to segue off that sensitivity is that I feel what started that woke mentality is this sensitive culture that people feel like we all want to have our own opinions and we all want to be right and we all want to be reassured that our opinions are right. I need you and you and you to tell me. Oh, I feel like this woke culture created this very my opinion is also based on the security of those around me to gang up and reassure my opinion. So I'm going to say something extreme because I'm sensitive on a certain subject and in hopes of being right, got my peers that are going to jump in and help me. I think that's what's happening because not every woke opinion is right. It's just a bunch of opinions and just a bunch of gangs behind all this opinion that I'll back you up. That's the way I see it. It's based on the sensitivity of.
yeah, I think it's oversensitivity. I agree with your comment and your comment, but it's like you can't say anything nowadays. It's everything's offensive. Like calm the fuck down. Like seriously, I agree. It's oversensitive. I agree with exactly what you said.
People don't like to be told they're wrong. Have a debate. You're like, got to be right. And if you're against it, well, everybody on you now. So come on, gangs, everybody on you because you're not in on this circle opinion that all of us are in agreement. That opinion, I find it's not necessarily the right one. Seeing it in politics in the U.S. nowadays, with like Trump supporter and the Kamala make anybody more right than the other. It's just that you feel like your opinion is being attacked, and how can I keep it valid? How can I keep my opinion valid without being washed away like it's
Gentleman's
not
agreement.
important?
I'll explain to you what it is, okay? We're doing all this mumbo jumbo. We're talking. We're having a good time. We're putting out this great content. But the least you guys can do is actually press that like button, subscribe, and you'll get to see us all the time, anytime, everywhere we go. All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Not important. So I think people self entitlement.
You know what I believe? A lot of this woke mentality it's provoking this woke mentality. It's social media. A lot of people are being very narrow-minded about what they watch, what they listen. They're not open to opinions or diversifying their views, and this is what it's causing. Believe.
Well, social media is
stay
just,
in your bubble,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
And you always you're not expanding. You're we have to start taking the hits, man. You gotta go pay taxes. You gotta go and feed your kids. You have so many responsibility ahead of you. Never mind that my little opinion that hurts your feelings has hurt this generation. What are we becoming, a bunch of Karens on a grand scale here?
we're losing the thick skin.
We need
We
thick
are.
skin.
We're
we need
losing
to
it.
be. We need to have some.
Absolutely. Agree.
I'm not that I don't I guys want to be transgender. You want to get your kids getting mastectomies. Hey, at a certain point, you can't just so sensitive towards feeling because you don't think and you don't feel you're that person. Anyways, I'm going really deep. You want to go that deep, and that's how I feel. I feel as if people are too sensitive to feelings, and that backfires. And as you can see, a lot of times actually have these inner feelings. It's so deep in these feelings, and the next thing you know, they kill themselves because they're so sensitive to feelings. We need to desensitize our feelings and do the right thing. Just care for one another. We're looking inwardly when we should be looking outwardly.
You guys pretty much defined woke, but on
Yes.
the part or the view of a conservative right winger. Because woke
Excuse
does
me?
not.
Repeat that?
You guys defined woke as what a conservative right winger defines woke. Okay, because
Right.
originally woke was not intended for what you guys just mentioned.
Mhm.
This is something. So quick question: when did you hear about how many years ago did you hear the term woke?
5 years.
In the last 5 years?
4 years, yes, since COVID.
Before the Me Too movement of George Floyd and all that.
Exactly. That's when it came back to
Right.
modern.
Right.
Was the BLM
Right. Black Lives Matter
protests?
Me Too movement.
Ferguson
hashtag.
protest. Anyways,
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you examples, just like you guys talked about. A MAGA, what a woke
Okay.
means to them.
All right.
You define woke as?
Let me start here.
Wokeness.
I'm not good at defining woke. Let him do that.
You're not
but
good at defining anything.
Woke is accepting everything that is evil. So, for instance, monster cans. Each line represents a 6.
What are you talking
So
about?
you got 666. And then if you look
What
on the
is
monster
going
can
on?
itself, in the O of the monster, it has a cross. And it's got represents the Antichrist.
Look at the
So when
chick's
you
face.
drink it,
She
you've got
lost
the cross
interest.
coming down.
She's like, what
And
the
What is he, dumb?
fuck is this?
That's
guy
wokeism,
talking
sort of in a nutshell.
Yes, in a nutshell, it's accepting everything that's evil as good.
Cliff notes of
Do
wokeism.
you have another example of when you run into wokeism?
what they're doing with the schools
Like,
and the children and trying to indoctrinate them. I have a granddaughter who's 6 years old. And
you have a granddaughter?
yeah,
Wow, you look great for having a granddaughter.
thank you.
Tell me then, so what kind of indoctrination? I'm asking you just for specific.
I like to graduate high school in Stevens Point. I mean, I have it on my phone. It's talking about gender issues and issues that shouldn't even be discussed in school. and pushing young children. If it were up to my granddaughter, she would be a dog, and they would be letting her crawl around on the floor and identify as a dog until 2 weeks from now. Then she'd be a cat. And they're letting children transition or telling them to keep it from their parents and pushing them to get gender reaffirming care and keep it a secret from their parents. That's not school.
And that's happening at school. There are cases specifically.
All over the United States. And we are fighting school boards left and right.
Wokeism. That's horrible.
I love that hat,
And,
though.
It's borderline mental issues, I guess. I would say. I mean, if you don't know what you are and you can't see what's going on right now in front of our eyes, it's something's definitely wrong with those individuals.
The perfect type of MAGA guy. These are so
you guys practically just said what they said. They just sound very dumb doing it.
Yes.
You guys pretty much sound the same thing. So don't tell. Yes, they sound stupid and like they don't know what the hell they're talking about. The guy's talking about Monster Can energy drink.
I'm going to cut you off for a second.
Sure.
Where and why wasn't the woke definition ever explained properly?
It is explained.
Where?
I'm getting to that.
Okay, we're discussing it, me and you, but
Yeah.
Why isn't it just here? Just have
Why
to
isn't it a
accept
rule? Why isn't it?
We're here.
out
We're
there?
woke, and nobody's explained it ever properly.
It is
Thank you for
explained
explaining.
properly, except what happened in the last 5 years, especially conservative media, they converted it into a catch-all for anything that is socialism, anything that you think is impeaching on your free speech, cancel culture, transgender, but anything to talk about the sense of active racism. That's woke. You know what the history of woke is? Woke came from 1930s. For black people, used to tell themselves, because black people
Yep.
back then, when you watch old slave movies stuff, how they spoke, they kind of spoke uneducated.
I watched Django last week.
Exactly. But it's-
Right.
and woke is
A few
basically
hard
saying-
R's in that movie.
basically woke is just be aware, and just stay alert. Watch where you walk, which neighborhood you walk, and they'll hang you. And it came from that. Be woke, stay woke. And then it came back during the BLM, the Ferguson protest. They're saying woke, basically wake up. Wake up to the world. Realize there's systematic racism, that there's big difference between who cops are shooting, black people compared to white people. Wake up, guys. Are you guys aware that a black man getting arrested has a huge percentage higher possibility of being shot from that arrest than a white person?
But didn't Rodney King happen in the 90s? And nothing happened since then. Like, I mean,
didn't
why
have
all of a
social
sudden now it's
media.
woke? So that should have been woke.
They didn't have social media. Woke came back more in the lexicon of our lives because of social media. Hashtag woke.
So it's more aware because of the...
Saying stay woke, be aware, wake up to what's really happening to black people in
Okay.
America. And that's where it comes from. And then white people hijacked it, hashtag woke, to say, we see you, stand with you in solidarity. So white people start going, woke, woke. But then conservatives starting using woke as just to fight cancel. Anybody that had an opinion or somebody disagree with you, that's woke, trying to cancel me. All this transgender, LGBTQ, call me by my pronouns. That's woke.
Of course, that's also part of.
No, but they hijacked. That's not part
Part
of
of the
woke.
culture, yeah.
They just did a catch-all word.
Collective.
Just anything that I don't understand.
Falls
that
in.
It's not the usual way of life. That's woke. It became such a bad word when it actually started from a good origin.
intention.
Good sword. Yeah.
It was just saying that I'm awake. I understand what's happening, or you should wake up and understand what's happening. And it's just, I'm not living the same life as you. So wake up from your dream life and welcome to my nightmare. That's where woke came from.
That makes sense. I mean, like, I totally understand that point of view, and I'm
Yeah,
wondering.
but that's where woke came from. But that's not where woke is now, and what people think it is.
Of course, it's just what you hear on the right wing. You hear Trump, you hear MAGA guys, don't even know what it means. Check this video.
Right? Do you like acknowledge that it's not just the word woke? How that you've explained it and defined it to us,
Yep.
in a sense where it comes from and where it's going, and even on the left side, you not agree that it's a bigger picture now, right?
It's magnified.
Just the
I understand what you're saying.
races.
It shouldn't be using the word woke. I'm just saying it shouldn't have been called woke. It should have
never been tied together.
Exactly. It got tied together and it lost value of what it really came from. Now people are just the woke mob. Elon Musk calling it the woke mind disease killed my son, right? Because his son became a woman or something. And it just became such a, it's almost like they wanted to kill that word. It's almost like when Obama came out with the Affordable Care Act, they called it Obamacare to give it a bad like feeling about it, like, oh, Obama did it, don't like it. It's kind of, the conservatives are very good at that. An author,
would you mind defining woke, because it's come up a couple times and I just want to make sure.
a conservative author wrote a book about woke. She wrote a whole book about it. This reporter just asked her, to you, what is woke?
Sure we're on the same page.
So, I mean, woke is sort of the idea that this is going to be one of those moments that goes viral.
And it did. That incredibly cringy moment featuring a conservative author by the name of Bethany Mandel.
You didn't even know what woke is. I guess my point is that it was something good and they're just using it to demonize what they believe is bad.
Would the Young Turks, do they define woke as what you?
Of course. It's being awake to system. It's originally it's being awake to systematic racism and injustice, social injustice to minorities, and then it grew into sexual orientation, your gender, and just other marginalized people came under that umbrella. Diversity in the workplace. It's like, wake up, like we should have more women. Shouldn't be all just white guys in corporations. You know, and that's what it is. And when you say woke, kind of makes sense. Wake up to what's happening in the world. And they think woke is just someone who disagrees with you, and they're socialists, they're Marxists, they want to cancel you.
Let's see what Vivek was gonna.
Yeah.
So the new popular talking point on the American left is that conservatives can't define the word woke, even as they continue to.
It's true. They do have a hard time actually defining what woke is. They know how they feel about it. They know that it's something that they think is imposing on them. Can't really define what woke is. This guy's going to try and define it.
To be anti-woke. Here's the one thing I'll admit, okay? There are a lot of Republicans who don't know what they mean when they use this word. But that just gives an opportunity to the left to ridicule Republicans, when what we actually need to do as Republicans is to take the debate to their turf and win. So you don't know what woke means? Here's what it means. I'm going to define it in neutral terms that nobody can deny, okay? Being woke refers to waking up to invisible alleged societal injustices based on genetically inherited attributes.
Very bad what he said. Invisible. He's saying being awoke to things that don't really exist, and that's very bad that he said that. So basically saying there's no social injustice, there's no racial injustice. It's an invisible construct, and you're being awoke to that. So that's very bad that he said that. But basically, that's what I'm saying. Except he's saying it's not real. I'm saying it is real.
Okay, but Vivek, what he usually like, he believes black, white, yellow, orange, doesn't matter what color you are, you have the same opportunity if you want it. Okay, it's an actual.
So you start from the same starting line. You don't.
That doesn't matter. That
Of course it matters.
No, as an American, you could be in the slums. You could be something if you really want to.
No, but the majority of people in the slums are not white people.
I understand.
So you're not starting from the same starting line. You could finish at the same finish line.
100%.
But you're not all starting at the same starting line.
Kind of understand his.
Okay, let's go back to
race, sex, and sexual orientation. And further, it creates a hierarchy based on these genetic attributes to say that you're either an oppressor or you're a member of an oppressed class, which creates these invisible relationships that creates a social hierarchy.
It bothers me that he says that, invisible. It really bothers me.
And what they say is we need to turn that social hierarchy upside down, or at least even it out, by using any means necessary, not just through government, but even through the private sector, even through our schools, and even through our economy itself, including the use of quota systems based
called socialism.
Sorry?
That's called socialism.
When everyone's the same?
What he's talking about, what left wants to I want to shit on like what woke means, but I understand his perspective, like where we're individuals, and whether you're from the slums or you've been in 10 generations in slavery, especially, you can wake up and actually think out of yourself if you want it. It's harder, of course. It's even more successful and beautiful to attain. And of course, it's sad to see that there's communities that are just like in shambles. But honestly, like these people, sometimes they're just as happy as a freaking billionaire, right?
Yes, but that's the state of mind. It has nothing to do with injustice. Let me ask you, you think we'd be saying the exact same thing if he drove a nice car, once a month, got pulled over just for questioning? Think he'd have the same kind of attitude? Or you would feel the oppression? You would feel that that guy doesn't go through the same world as I go through. Okay? I'm sure people call him a, very derogative words, packy, whatever. I'm sure he feels that in his lifetime. But you think this guy in the middle of the night, and cop not pull him over? I'm sure that doesn't happen to him. But a black guy that happens to a lot of times, because they assume it might be stolen, or some. You understand what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
Anyways.
I understand the invisible word that bugs you.
You understand why?
Yeah, of course.
Because you make it seem like it's not an issue. People are creating this issue. It's not a real issue, and I think that's wrong for him to say that.
Based on race, gender, and sexual orientation to correct for those alleged societal injustices. That is what it means to be woke. That is what the woke movement is all about.